Yeah, we're live. Here we go. Welcome to the Morning Disaster, Wednesday, January 19th, 2022. We are here, and I was just talking offline. I was talking about my hair. If you look, it's starting to come in where I'm getting some gray all over.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Like the silver fox.
Well, I don't look like a skunk as much.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean, I still have skunk stuff going on. See, I used to get the skunks. The skunk used to all be here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the hair was black. But now it's sort of, you know what I mean? It's sort of the gray's sort of going all over. So,
Mm-hmm.
but now the part that had the color on it is
yeah, it's starting to gray up.
yeah, the part that had the color on it is, starting to gray. And so I wonder now, since it's not all salt, it's now turning all salt and pepperish. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's sort of what I've always wanted.
Well, I mean, I've got a theory as to what caused all the gray to start coming out.
Well, the fact that I'm working with a guy who looks like he's 70 with his fucking hair. I mean, look at Steve's here. You can tell that Steve had blonde hair though.
See, my theory is you've been taking his bedding advice and then cold crepes, and that caused it.
Well, yeah, cold crepes and bad bedding advice will always ruin your hair.
No. I didn't bring the fucking crepes.
I do need some crepes. I need crepes this morning. That would be wonderful. But I gotta go. This is my schedule. I do this show. Then I'm gonna go work out immediately because all I gotta do today is cardio. So I'm gonna do right after the show. I just want to get it done. I just want to get it done and go sweat and then come home right after cardio. And then get my other shit done,
Mm-hmm.
Then so I can, maybe take a nap or I don't know. So I could have some time this afternoon to do anything I want to do.
Right.
Just so I can have time to fuck around if I want to.
Yeah, well, I mean, everything that's been going on, you need the break.
Yeah. So, yeah. But now I want to talk more about my hair. So here's the other thing with my hair is I like my hair long. Okay. But now where it's long, here you can see
like the ends are black.
The gray's coming in, but my end where the color was is still pretty dark.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So,
Well, now the way your hair looks, it looks like you've been drinking with Pete all night.
Yeah. Cubs won. We had a good time. Looks like that time looks like back when I would go out with Pete Vanaken, Harry Carey, and those guys. I told you those stories right about when Harry would come to Peoria.
Oh yeah, you've told me quite a few of those.
Harry Carey would come down to Peoria. He'd tell his wife, "I'm gonna go see Pete," and he'd come down to Peoria for Benders. And he and Vanaken would just go out, and they were both guys in their 70s or whatever. And then they would call my cousin, "Hey, Buddha," who was like 21 or whatever. How old were they? 20. I don't know how old he was. But they would call him. Those were good days.
I was about 11, and we had went up to Wrigley. And of course, Harry Carey's singing Seventh Inning Stretch, and he had a beer in his hand. And I remember my grandpa shoving me out of the way because we were right under the press box, and the beer bottle almost hit me when he dropped his beer.
I got to tell you, in 91 and 92, and part of 93, Vanaken, Pete Vanaken had season tickets, you know.
Oh,
I don't know if he got them from Harry or what, but he could never go because he's always busy. And so he would say, "Hey, Ray, hey, Johnny, you guys want my season tickets?" And I'm like, "What do you got them for?" He goes, "I got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday." I said, "Hell, I'll take." He goes, "Oh, here you go." So he would give me his. Now his seats were in the wives section. It was the giveaway section for the players. So it was about 8 rows up, right behind home plate. And and my wife and I would go, and those are the games that we would go to see the Cubs games. So these are like I said, 91, 92, 90, 93, that area. And those are good times, man.
They were great games too.
And those were great seats because, like I said, they were Vanaken seats. Now I know he would give them to Rocky sometimes, his kids. But yet he was on our show so much, he would just give them to us. He would, "Here, take seats, go." So we would go up using his seats, and we would go to, my wife and I would go to probably 5 games a year where we would use Vanaken seats, and it would take like 2 hours and 15 minutes. We were given a shortcut. I can't remember who gave me the shortcut. They gave me a shortcut to get to Chicago.
Yeah.
From Peoria. And I would take this shortcut, 2 hours and 15 minutes to get to Chicago. And we would leave literally right when I got off the air. We would leave the show and drive straight to Chicago. And then because we weren't paying anything for tickets, we would get that parking.
Yeah.
At the McDonald's right across the street.
Oh, yeah.
There was a McDonald's right next to it was right on what's that fucking street?
I want to say it was on Clark.
No, Addison. It was a McDonald's on Addison. And we would park right there, literally walk across the street and go.
Oh, man.
It was fantastic. But the parking was like $25 or $30. But I'm like, shit, I don't care. I don't have to pay for tickets or anything. So we would pay the parking, then go in, and then after the game, you'd come out, get in your car, and boom,
bolt.
You're beating all the traffic and everything. So those were good times.
In Mackinac, where I was raised, I mean, we had the local bank every year. They did a bus trip to Wrigley, and then they did a bus trip to Busch Stadium. And every summer, we got on that bus and went to Wrigley. Yeah. It was just a great trip.
Yeah, those are good times. Those are really, really fun times.
Yeah.
Going to those games. And the Cubs never won shit,
They won when we went, and they were always.
I mean, they won the game, but they never won. They never won They didn't start winning. They went to the playoffs in 98. They had been in 89,
right?
But then they didn't go to the playoffs any of the years we went. But it was still a lot of fun. It was still a lot of fun. I had a lot of joy going to those games, but we would wait until it's like sitting behind home plate gets very cold in like April, May. We made a mistake of going to one of those early games and holy crap.
The wind coming off the lake and right in at you.
A blanket or something and it was actually warm in the city of Chicago, but behind that home plate, it was freezing. So, I remember we were like, oh, no, we got to wait until June to get these tickets. And then it would get really nice. So, but anyway, just good memories. More in my hair, though. Yeah. So I'm saying maybe I cut it. If I cut it down, I'm asking because I see our room has hair experts,
Oh, well, yeah.
I'm saying maybe I cut it down to the gray. So I cut all of the color on top of, but then it's going to be too short. You know what I mean?
You know,
I like the length. I like the length of my hair.
I know who cuts your hair. I say talk to her.
It's just I don't know if I'm going to get it cut because of a couple reasons. Number one, it's such a process. I got to get. I wish I was going to a hair cutting place that had a wheelchair. Like Fit Club. When I go to Fit Club, they have a wheelchair at Fit Club. So they have a wheelchair at Fit Club, and they wheel it out to me and pick me up in my car and then wheel me inside. You know what I mean? That's awesome. So there needs to be a haircutting place like that. That's what I need.
I'd go there.
Yeah, right? Wouldn't you?
Hell yeah.
Disabled people would go to a place. Where people with wheelchair service, or maybe one of those rascules that you use, Steve.
Yeah.
Where they'll
What
go
is that?
get you a rascule.
A rascal?
Yeah. They call
What
them
the hell is
rascal.
I've heard of a rascal.
Steve calls them rascules.
Oh.
Rascules. So you get a rascule and they could bring you inside. I'm saying I think disabled people would love it.
Yeah.
That's what I think. They'd get my haircut. That's where I get my haircut.
So I get my
tell you
haircut.
what.
There's two already.
That's what I say. And haul them inside. I'm telling you, Fit Club has a wheelchair. And I've lost more weight. Since I've been in the wheelchair than before.
Damn.
Because I work out 5 days a week.
Yeah.
So I go and work out, and they do exercise, and they do exercises with my legs all the time. Oh, Steve, I'm talking about making my life better. You can't contain yourself.
God.
Oh my God.
Tyler says shave your head.
Was that me?
Unbelievable.
I didn't hear it.
Couldn't you have felt it? I felt that one.
Steve doesn't feel it if it's a turd or a fart. He don't know.
Until he stands up and it falls out of his
pant leg. Yeah.
Then he goes, "Oh shit, that might have been something."
Oh, well, another thing for Christina to clean up.
I'm just telling you. I'm saying that if we should open up a haircut place, Steve. We're gonna open up a haircut place with valet service and handy and disabled service.
And who are you going to get to be the stylists?
We'll just hire some.
Yeah.
We'll hire some stylists right out of stylist school.
Yeah, right out of John Mitchell.
Yeah. We'll just hire some children just getting out of they go to college they go to school for that.
No, don't do that. Steve's too into children.
Well, he wouldn't have to be around them. He just have to fund it.
Right.
He just have to throw a couple hundred in each month and we'll keep it going.
Oh, okay. I can do that.
Yeah. He'd be and then he'd go by and get, his cuts. So I'm just saying. We'll get a cosmetology school. We'll get the girls right out of cosmetology school and we'll hire them for $4 an hour. What is the minimum wage now?
It's like $12 an hour now.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we'll pay them 15. We'll pay them 15 just because we're good.
We'll pay them 10 plus tips.
Well, yeah, they're allowed to keep their tips, right?
Yeah.
We wouldn't get any of the tips. Oh, wait a minute.
Not if I'm paying them 15. No.
We'd get tips from the service. If people get them.
I
gotta tell you, if somebody's gonna bring a wheelchair out to me, I'm willing to give them a couple bucks here and there, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
I hate to tell you guys, but I'll keep going to who I go see.
That's fine. That's fine. you're able to be
You're
picky.
able.
You can walk, so you're able to be picky. I'm sorry, if you're disabled, you can't walk, and we bring you service. I don't care if you get a shitty haircut. Where else are you gonna go? Where else are you gonna go? You gonna go somewhere where you gotta go with the pain, or like this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm willing to do.
So why
You know
not
what I mean?
why not see if you could go to somebody that you know and set up the valet and wheelchair service and just hire
Well,
somebody?
I don't know. I don't know why they don't do it. I'm just telling you, it's a good idea, because if you are disabled, you've got to use the service. It doesn't matter how good a haircut you get. You don't care how good a haircut you get.
Right.
You just want to get the haircut. And you'll go to that one because of the service.
Yep.
Because of the ease, you'll take a shitty haircut. That's what I'm saying. That's why it's a great idea. Yeah, so.
Yeah, current Illinois minimum wage is $12 an hour.
Well, I'll take it up to 15. They deserve it. Yeah. Or I could just stay home and let it grow.
That sounds more like Ray.
Yeah.
I don't want to leave the house. Fuck it.
Yeah. Or maybe, you know what? Maybe I'll just go to cosmetology school. Maybe I'll go to cosmetology school and recruit some girls.
Ooh, that sounds.
And say, hey, who would want to come
Not
by?
like that, Steve.
Who would want to come by my house and take care of who will come by and give me cuts every how often you get your hair cut? TJ goes to the stylist like he's a 90 or 80-year-old with a bouffant. He's constantly getting his hair taken care of.
Over there about once every 2 months.
Oh, I do every month. I need one now.
Why?
Bet Christina's got some sheep shears that'd help you out.
She got some sheep shears. Yes.
I do that in the summertime.
I'm gonna get that haircut. So I'm gonna go at cosmetology school. Find a good looking one.
Oh yeah.
And offer her a little money to swing by the house and give me
a good idea, right?
Thank you. Thank you. So if they don't arrest me.
Well, if they do, just tell them your name is Steve.
Yeah. I just want a haircut. But right now, like I said, I like the length of my look at the length. Perfect. I'm getting my length is perfect, But the gray is finally starting to come in everywhere. So
starting to take over a little bit.
Yeah, but that's good because now my hair will actually be salt and pepper. And I first started getting gray a few years ago, and I always covered it up with color because I looked like a skunk. I'm not joking.
Oh, I remember.
I would show you. TJ would come to the house hey, look at this, and I would show where the gray hair would be coming in, and I would look like a skunk.
Yeah,
I'm like, I can't be walking around looking like a skunk.
I would say if it's the length you want right now, just wait for a while.
Yeah.
Till it gets too long.
I mean, your hair doesn't grow that fast, so you could probably wait until about April or May and then go get it trimmed up.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
Irene asks if my carpet matches. No, I guess I don't have any gray in my. I asked my wife. I don't know. I don't see it. I'm horrified that she does.
Pete makes a very good point. The fact that Steve thinks it's a good idea, that's like his betting advice. I don't know.
My wife says I don't have any grays in the pube region. So, thank God for that. That's the point, At that point, I'd have to start shaving the
have to get some manscaping done.
Yeah, I shave the poopa, but I don't have that problem yet.
Wonder what it would take to send Steve in to get waxed.
Oh, hell no. Oh, ain't no way.
Irene says it's good your wife lies to you to spare your food. How dare you?
There's a shot.
My wife would not lie to me. I just don't think she's looking close enough, and I don't blame her. By the way, yeah, no, I don't have a. Occasionally you go to scratch, give yourself a scratching.
Yeah.
Like today, Steve got me this powder for my birthday.
Yes, I did.
Was it good powder or crappy?
Yeah.
powder?
Oh, yeah. It's the same powder that I asked for on my Amazon wish list.
Oh, so you got your Gold Bond.
Yes. And so he got this Gold Bond for me. And so I woke up and I was like, well, let me put a little powder on. So I rubbed a little powder on the fupa and the ball. You know what I mean? I powdered everything down, and because occasionally you get a little scratch and you scratch and you pull your hands up and like there'll be a hair in there or something,
Right. Oh,
and
God.
I've never pulled a gray hair out of there either. So, Yeah,
that's the worst. Put your hand down there, scratch, and come back with a handful of hair.
I've never come up with a handful, but occasionally there's a hair, And I've never seen a gray one. So, and
I gotta agree with Christina. It looks to me like Tyler was volunteering to wax Steve.
I think my
is never going to happen.
I think my wife might have noticed a gray in the pubic region though a few years ago, because she started, she's always, taking care of herself and trimmed, but started shaving much closer, I think, when gray showed up, or something was going on, because I don't blame her. She doesn't want the grays down in that region. But I've never personally seen one, but I know people get self-conscious. I think something like that happened, and she started, closing in the shaving much more. I think that's when it went to racing stripe, or I think there was maybe a gray hair or something that forced that, to happen in the 40s. Let's racing stripe that sucker, or something happened. I don't know, but
your wife is one of my best friends. That's not something
my wife is awesome.
Imagine.
My wife's awesome, and I love the fact that she, like my wife has been coloring her hair since. God, I mean, she's been
90s?
Yeah, since she was in her 20s. So she's she's very, thoroughly does that every 2 weeks or whatever. So, but my wife's hair looks great. But I'll tell you, I think I've always said, I think I'll look good when the gray, mixes in everywhere. But
right.
The problem with my hair has always been, my natural color is so dark. That as long as there's patches of the hair that are still so dark, I look like a skunk when everything mixes together. But now I'm getting old enough to where the gray is starting to go everywhere. So it's going to make more sense. You know what I mean? But the back of my hair is all black. You know what I mean? Steve, turn to your left as far as you can turn to your left. Look at the back of his hair. See the back of his hair?
Yeah, he's got some black in there.
Yeah, he's got the dark hair in there.
Yep.
All right, Steve, turn the other way around. Yeah, so you see that? Doesn't that look ridiculous?
Yes.
Yeah, so my entire back of my hair is pitch black. You know what I mean?
He's got like the raccoon look back there, like different rings.
Yeah. Like I'm saying that, could you see my hair?
Yeah, it's all black.
Yeah. So if I cut it, it would just look, it would just look weird. So I don't know. What can I say? I probably still would look like a skunk. Or a raccoon.
Yeah, Steve's got that trash panda look going on back
he
there.
looks like it is. His hair in the back of his head's trash panda. He looks like a raccoon. Look again, Steve. Look to you. It's like I'm looking
at it. See the rings?
Yeah, it's like I'm looking into the dumpster. And there's a big fat raccoon eating garbage.
Could you imagine that look if he was leaning over a toilet?
Yeah, it's great. It's crazy. So I don't want to look like that. So
it looked like the raccoon getting a drink out of the toilet.
But I do like the fact that now it's getting all the way across. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
It's not a skunk patch anymore.
Yep.
So thank God. Yeah. Oh well. So people are complaining about what did I typed ARARD instead of award. Oh, let me fix that.
I'm sitting here looking at the chat room. Everybody's ganging up on Tyler saying he needs to wax Steve's taint.
That ain't gonna happen.
No one needs to wax Steve's. We don't need to see Steve's taint.
No kidding.
Good Lord. All right, now it says award-winning show.
Not ARARD.
Yes. Unbelievable. Yeah, so let's see what's going on. Anything happened in the world in the last 24 hours?
There's been a couple of things that I was reading up on that was news-wise.
All right.
The suspect for the Parkway pub assault, that the owner ended up getting killed.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Right.
He was like how old was he?
Angelo was 80 years old, and the man who did it, who's been now identified as Dalton McDermott, 27 years old, he is in police custody. The detectives and Sangamon County are now discussing whether they're going to put additional charges against McDermott, and he's currently at the Sangamon County Jail for
there was a fight, right? Did he go to
he went to the bar. Now the bar is one of the last ones that's left in Springfield with a 3 a.m. license.
Okay.
So he went to the bar after whatever one he was at before closed up. There was an altercation outside of the bar on New Year's Eve, and that's how Angelo wound up in the hospital.
So, but I'm saying he was fighting with another guy, right? And this Angelo went and told him to stop, and he got hit. Is that what happened?
Hey, the way I'm understanding it from people that work there is they had closed up the bar, and he was just basically waiting outside for Angelo to come out because Angelo cut him off. Said you had too much. And when this is hearsay, but when he got outside, then Angelo was jumped by this guy.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And anybody who met him, and I've met
so
him.
The guy was drinking too much,
right?
And the owner of the bar said, "Go, you've had too much. You got to go."
Well, he was drinking too much, and he was causing problems inside the bar. So the owner and the bartender said, "Get out."
So, as the owner was leaving the bar at the end of of
New Year's Eve,
so the guy
waited outside,
and then when Angelo walked out, the guy beat him. So he specifically went after him and beat him up.
That's the way I'm understanding it. Yeah.
Well, then, that's. I'm sorry, but
multiple blows to the head.
Oh my God! Then that's homicide.
Yeah, the family kept Angelo on life support until last week, and last week they said, he's just fought it long enough. We've got to pull the plug.
Okay.
So now
the police charge the guy with reckless.
They charged him with the assault and battery, and now they're discussing possible homicide charges. I don't know what the particulars are yet.
I mean, if he specifically went after this guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, I've had interaction with Angelo before myself. Very nice guy. It sucks that this guy is gone because he is somebody who believed in second chances, loved trying to help people out as much as he could. and ran a clean establishment.
Huh. I'll be damned. So they could try this guy for murder.
Yes, they could.
But it sounds like, I mean, if he's that out of control, if he's that out of control, you know, I mean, maybe he didn't mean to murder him, but he definitely meant to beat him up.
Well,
So that
I mean,
would at least be some form of manslaughter or something, right? Or
see, the way our
I don't know how it works.
If I'm going to look at it right now, and I was going to take an idea.
Yeah, Dan says if the guy stood outside and waited, it's premeditated. So I guess that would be the, you know,
it definitely looks like murder 1.
Shit.
But they'll probably plead it down to involuntary manslaughter 10 to 15.
Well, the guy's a loser. I mean, I'm sorry, you're 27 years old. At what time are you going to grow up?
Right.
I mean, at what time do we grow up? I just think that the human brain is not developed till we're at least 25.
And I mean, like I said,
I think some people, exceptional people, have a developed brain early, like myself. That's why I got married at 22. But I'm saying that, you know, some people. But I used to have my friend named Pete McMurray. He told me I think he was maybe 21 when he was saying this, and I always thought, holy shit, he was my producer, and he was on the Light and Lamb show, and Pete would always say, until you're 25, it's impossible to even know what true love is till you're at least 25. You know, he would also say that, he goes, Ray and Deidre, you're the exception. But most people don't, until they're 25, they don't even know true love. He would always say that. And I'll tell you, he sounds like it's, he sounded very wise then, and it did make sense. He would say we're the exception, though, because we were younger than that. And
I mean, you know, again, this guy is 27, so he should.
That's what I mean. So this guy was already 27, still didn't learn. You know, come on. You know.
Well, you know Pete better than anybody. Has Pete grown up yet?
Former fat Pete?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say he's formerly fat because he lost all that weight, but I still love to call him Fat Pete. No, he's 40 something or 50 something going on 22. No, he's not. He never developed a full mind. It's very sad.
And we know that Steve's not.
But his mind still works hard for judging people.
Right.
He's still Pete's able to judge people fine. He can judge. He has many judgments about them.
So you think Pete is highly judgmental?
Yes, he can judge. He can decide if someone is an asshole, or if someone has good tits, or he's highly skilled and experienced in making these judgments. Yeah, so that's former Fat Pete.
You think Steve's grown up yet?
No, I don't.
Wait, I know better. Steve shit the bed.
Yeah. Steve's still working on infantile issues.
Tried to get potty trained.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
I'm not sure any potty training ever took place within his life.
I don't remember it, so I couldn't tell you.
Just going based on what the bed looks like now.
Yeah.
I don't think a proper potty training was ever done.
I can't wait till the day you drop milk duds in your bed and fall asleep.
I have never dropped milk duds in my bed.
You admitted it.
Whatever.
And by milk duds, I mean shit. I've never shit the bed.
Might have been milk dud sized turds.
Yeah. A box of milk dud sized turds.
You admitted it was.
Yeah, we admitted it was shit.
Stop backpedaling.
Of course, he's gonna go right back to the lie. That's how he rolls. He's a barrel of lies. Good old Steve. GDS. GOS. Yeah. So.
Well, Pete's laughing at you now.
Big former fat Pete. Very judgmental. He's very judgmental. Even now. I don't know how old Pete is. I know Pete's older than me, but he's he's growing on like 22. Like I think sometimes I feel like I'm going on 80.
Oh.
Pete's like 50 something going on, He's going to, well, I'm thinking of limiting my strip room visits to only 3 nights a week. You know what I mean? I mean, he's right around that age of, well, I'm thinking I'm going to limit my visits to the strip club to 3 nights a week.
God, that's funny.
That's Pete's, I'm only going to drink 6 nights a week. Yeah, maybe it's time. I'll think of next month. Next month I'll consider cutting down. That's what he's going through. So.
Oh wow.
I love Pete. But nobody in this. I'm just saying. Anyone in this chat room. Don't think a second has gone by where Pete has not judged you. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying none of you should be under the false assumption that you have gone unjudged by Pete. Isn't that right, TJ?
Oh, I'm sure of it.
Isn't that right, Milk Duds?
Yep.
Yeah,
Turd duds.
Milk duds. That's a good one. I like that one.
Yeah, it could be a new nickname. Milk Duds could be a new nickname. Yep. Oh well. Anything else going on in the news? What else you got?
We've got a man in Southern Illinois that was armed with a BB pistol, a metal BB pistol. 2:07 in the morning on Tuesday, Madison County reported that he was fatally shot.
What?
Yeah. They said they spotted him and shot him. And later they learned that it was a black metal BB pistol that he pulled on him.
Why did he have a BB pistol with him?
Let's see. I'm reading the story.
So the guy's out riding around at 2 a.m. with a BB pistol.
Yep.
Was he robbing somebody or what was he doing?
They say police say a gas station employee reported seeing him armed, and then a nearby resident later reported seeing someone armed with a gun on her porch. Police
so he was going around
in the area.
So he's going around acting like this BB pistol
was basically like it was a real gun.
Was a real gun. Okay.
And then after he pulled what police thought was a regular pistol, they fatally shot him. And it turned out to be this black metal BB gun.
Well, listen. How old was this guy?
Man was 31 years old.
He's
from
31.
St. Louis.
Now, let me tell you something. We've discussed a lot of these shooting cases in the past, right?
Right.
And you know where I usually land on these.
Right.
Where I usually land is, I wish they'd have done more whatever. I wish they were more careful. I'm sorry someone's dead. But I got to be honest. If it looks like a pistol, if it acts like a pistol, if the guy's going around pulling it on people like it's a fucking pistol, if you're going around convenience stores trying to hold them up, or you're sitting on a person's porch trying to rob them using the BB gun like a pistol. If you get pulled over and you pull out the BB gun as a pistol and aim it at the cops, what the hell do you think is going to happen to you?
Well, and I mean, I go back to
the police are trained. They are trained when a gun is pulled on them to take the person out. I mean, I'm sorry that it was a BB gun. I'm sorry it was a BB gun, but it sounds to me like the SOB deserved to get shot. I mean, I don't, I know that some people might disagree, and you're more than welcome to disagree, but I got to be honest. I don't feel like the police have done anything wrong.
Okay. I was military police.
Yeah.
We talked about this in the past. And my training was, if they pull something and it looks like a weapon, yes, pull your weapon. Presentation of deadly force at this point is authorized. You do not fire until fired upon. So if he would have fired it, it would have went blink. Oh, it's a BB gun. Who gives a shit? And then it would have been put it back.
Yeah, but I'm saying that you were military police.
Right. So 80% of the people I had to arrest were trained to kill me.
Yeah. But I'm saying the rules are different for military police than guys working the streets.
But those rules, being as stringent as they were, worked.
And you know where I usually land on this.
Mm-hmm.
You know where I usually land on this is I do question why the force was used. In this case, though, I got to tell you, if a guy pulls, and it looks just like a pin, and he pulls it out, I mean, I got to be honest, TJ, it sounds like the guy's doing suicide by cop. I mean, this is
it probably was, and that's the way it's reading and looking.
So he pulls the BB gun on the police. They're gonna take him out.
Right.
They're gonna take him out. That's what it sounds like happened to me. I have no problem with the police's action. I really don't. Now, if I'm going to find out it's blue colored and had Nerf written on the side, I'd probably go, wait a minute. But this is not the case. This looks like a real gun. You pulled it at 2:00 in the morning. Right. You pulled it on police officers who are coming to check on your attempted robbery of this and of a couple places. They're going to take you out. It sounds like suicide by cop, or he was doing it on purpose.
And I'm sure they haven't reported yet, but I'm sure there was some sort of an intoxicating influence involved, alcohol, drugs, something of that nature.
Yeah. I mean, I usually land on supporting, where I usually fall on this.
Yeah.
If the guy was unarmed.
Then you would have been screaming at the cops.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, it sounds to me like the police were well within their right and did probably what they should have done. If the guy pulls a gun on you, take him out. You can't, as police officers, what are they supposed to do? Go, oh, well, let's let him at least fire off a couple rounds at us. Not if you're in that situation, you take the guy out.
That's the way we had to do it. Otherwise, it was registered as homicide.
I know that you're, but as military police, you guys your rules were a lot more stringent than what communities go through.
And now, again, once one round is fired, that's it. Put them down.
Right, but I'm saying that I don't know what happened, if they pulled this guy over or what, but if the guy pulls the gun on him, they're going to take him out. That's what happened. So I'm sorry, but I don't see any. There's nothing about this that's making me raise my eyebrows.
Yeah, April's sitting here saying that you could shoot to disarm, but those targets are much more difficult to hit. Where shooting center mass, you're going to put them down.
I got to be honest. I've never been. Well, when I was younger, I would get pulled over for some bullshit,
Right.
like being in the wrong neighborhood, being too dark. I've gone through that before. But now that I'm older, nobody ever pulls me over. They're like, this guy's too fat to cause a problem. And I would never pull anything out of anywhere without first speaking to the police officer. Is it okay if I pull my wallet out of my coat? Is it okay if I you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Your communication has got to be clear with them.
And I mean, I've lived in an area.
The first thing this guy does is pull a gun out of his waist. They're gonna take him down. That's what happened. Sounds like to me. I don't know. Justified. Sorry. And somebody said it in the chat room. If the guy is mentally disabled or what, I don't know, but it sure sounded like suicide by cop to me. Like this guy.
Yeah, like he was done.
Early 30s. He could have had is he white? Just because white people suffer from this more than black.
They didn't identify whether he was white, black, or indifferent.
I'm saying 31 years old, single guy.
31 years old from East St. Louis.
Yeah, Madison County area. He's a black guy.
Nothing has been released above and beyond that.
But I'm saying that mental illness gets everyone. I'm just saying, in most cases, it does get white people, but I don't know.
Right.
So he could have just had mental illness and been depressed, and this is his cry for help. And I'm sorry it ended poorly, but I'm sorry. That's what happens.
Boy, they've got some arguments going in there.
Where's arguments?
The chat room is going nuts over this one.
Oh, I try not to read the chat room during this stuff. Other than
like
occasionally I look over. Occasionally I look over and I see somebody scream something, and I just decide, well, I'm not going to read it.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, but I gotta tell you, usually in these cases, like an unarmed guy shot or something, I'm very questionable of the police officers. You guys, I'm telling you right now, I'm not questioning the police officers at all in this case, because the guy pulled out something that he was acting like was a real gun. He pulled it out and he pulled it on the police. Sorry. How are the police to know?
Yep.
They took him out.
I'm not going to wait for somebody else to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
To decide whether it's a BB gun or a real gun.
It's not like they held him down and put their knees on his neck and strangled him or anything like that. Right. No. And then it turns out they knew the guy. It's none of that stuff. This is the guy pulled a BB gun on them, acting like it was a real gun, and they took him out. It sounds to me like shut and dried case.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know.
The only other big story that I'm really seeing here is Springfield Fire Department is again over budget on overtime. Alderman Chuck Redpath is saying it's way over the allotted budget. They're $1.5 million over already, and it's time for new leadership within the department.
Well, raise the budget for overtime. If listen, I've never understood this about city councils. If they're spending money on overtime, then your budget is too small for regular time.
Right.
Give the police more people to work regular shifts, then you wouldn't have to spend the money on overtime.
And the same would be with the firefighters too, which is what they're looking at.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mayor Langfelder is quoted as saying that the city is in the process of adding hiring class of 9 firefighters this year. City and fire unions are still in negotiations over a new labor deal. We don't know when that's going to end.
Well, they need to get that taken care of, so then they wouldn't have to pay the overtime.
And that's what's really pushing it, that and what the surge in COVID cases and everything else.
I know COVID is been a problem. It's going to continue to be a problem. But
and our primary rescue squad is the Springfield Fire Department.
Well, you got to be prepared for it. The federal government, the government under both Trump and Biden, they have increased things for COVID, right? Didn't they give cities money? What the hell what are they using it for?
I have no idea. I haven't had a chance to look at the city budget yet.
Well, I'm just saying they gave cities more money depending on your population. They gave us more money. What the hell do you use the money for? This is what it was supposed to be used for, right?
Right. That's exactly what it was supposed to be used
they
for.
Should have taken care of it.
Could it be going into CWLP, getting everything updated? So
I don't know, but that's not where it was supposed to go to. The money was supposed to go for things like this.
Like I said, I haven't had a chance to research the city budget yet and figure out where it's all going.
I mean, if they decided to use the money on bicycle lanes or bullshit, whatever, and not use it on stuff like it was meant for, which was to increase this because COVID would cause increases, then God damn it, that's what the money's supposed. That's what it should have been used for.
Right.
You don't use it for other things.
But that's going up to the administrative level and mainly at the city council level.
Yeah, isn't that the city councils? They're the ones who determine the budgets, right? I don't know.
Correct. And then they direct the office of budget to go ahead and make sure that everything stays within the place that it needs to be at.
All I know is that Karen DeCenzo's goddamn good looking.
Oh God, yeah, she is.
They need to get more people like her on that council.
We need to have her on the show again.
Yeah, we need to get more people like that on the council. More people looking like her. Get rid of some of those ugly ones.
Alderwoman DeCenzo's.
Yeah. God. Give me a few more DeCenzos. Let's get rid of Red Paths and ugly Hanauer and yeah. Let's get some good looking ones. Let's get some more hotties up in there. No,
well, that means Steve can't run.
Yeah, I used to do the council roundup every week.
No, I looked forward to it.
I haven't even talked about council stuff since. So,
right.
Well, it's nice to actually talk about it.
That was actually one of my favorite segments that you did on that show.
Well, it's nice to talk about it. Now I find myself insulting them immediately, which I used to do every week. But
old habits die hard.
It's nice to get back to insulting them. Hey, you want to know what today is?
Wednesday?
Yeah. Today's National Popcorn Day.
I know what's getting fired up at Ray's house.
Dude, National Popcorn Day. Holy shit. I should just have popcorn with every meal. Right?
Pete's claiming you're being very judgmental.
I am, yeah. I was just saying, wasn't I just saying we should vote for a good-looking council people?
Right?
I don't think I got to be honest. I think where I live, I don't think I get a vote for council anymore.
Well, you're in Leland Grove.
Because I technically don't live in Springfield. How the fuck did I end up in this? Fucking Leland Grove. Are you kidding me? Jesus Christ. All because my fucking daughter wanted to live by the park. What the hell? Oh, but can I ask you, when we decided to get a place to live, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why did my wife says, well, I'm going to live with my husband the rest of my life.
Right.
I have a daughter. At the time, my daughter was 19. Have a 19-year-old daughter. And by the way, every other conversation my daughter has is her saying, oh, I can't wait to move out of the house and go to Chicago and blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Meanwhile, I'm like, I hope my daughter lives with this till she's like 40, till she's 50. I'd be fine with it. But all she talks about is how she can't She can't wait to get out of this house and go move to her new house in Chicago and all this bullshit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yet, when they decide when we're going to get a new place to live, who does she let pick the house? She let the 19-year-old who's always talking about moving out pick the house. That's who picked the house that I live in.
Got some backhanded logic with that.
Yeah, of course it's not logical.
You know, maybe it was all right if she picks the house, she'll stay longer.
Oh, I would take that deal. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
she's 20 now, and you know. Steve, I'm talking about my family. Can you please control yourself?
Sorry.
And by the way, this is she's not moving. She talks about she ain't moving out anytime soon. I'll tell you that. She talks all the time about Chicago. She's not even going to college. She's doing it online. It's like, oh God, I'm scared to death of COVID. I'm not gonna go to college, which is fine for me. It's cheaper online. But you know what I mean? I gotta tell you, she's not even going anywhere for college.
You know, if your daughter was to move out, I see her going a different direction than Chicago.
No, that's where she wants to move.
I mean, I could see her going to Corpus Christi.
No, she wants to live in Chicago. She I could tell you, this is what I think. My cousin is at Google.
Right.
He's in charge of, I don't know what he's in charge of. He's in charge of something at Google, right?
I think he's got her lined up for a job up there.
He's always going to my daughter and saying, God damn, I need you to come in as an intern at Google. I need you to come as an intern. You need to work in my department at Google. So he's always trying to get her to work at Google with it.
Right.
So I think she's lined something. I think she's lined something up. That's what I think. I don't know for sure. But
now, is that Buddha?
Yeah. But I don't know for sure. But I think there's something like that going on. Or his connection is giving her an opportunity to there's an opportunity to do something. You know what I mean? That's what I think. So I think she wants to go work for Google in Chicago. But I know, because she already. I go, where are you going to live? You going to go downtown? She goes, no. I want to live in. She's already picked a suburb out. She goes, no.
What?
And I said, and she goes, oh, and by the way, it's close to my cousin and my little nieces, and it's close to, it's close to them.
Is it close to Goose?
No, but it's close to my cousin Greg.
Okay.
It's close to his house. So I'm telling you, I've already got it figured out. I think she wants to go.
Sounds like something.
Yeah, I love my daughter. I'd be fine with no matter what she does. And right now everybody's working from home.
Yeah.
However, when she worked for the Chamber of Commerce, she liked it. You know what I mean? She did like it. And they gave her a chance to go do stuff with them. But this school is such a pain in the ass,
What's her major again?
I don't know.
Because I thought at one point she was a poli sci major.
Well, at one point she was going to go to Northwestern or Notre Dame.
Oh,
or Chicago, University of Chicago. You know what I mean? So she was determined. And then she was like, and then all of a sudden she got to this thing. You know what? I just want to get it over with. Of which I sort of went through the same thing,
Right.
I sort of went through the same. Like I got out of high school and I got offered a bunch of music scholarships.
Mm-hmm.
But I I was going to be a lawyer. I'm like, I want to be a lawyer. And so I started going to political science in Kansas City at Park College. And then my goal was, I figure after my political science degree, then I go to law school.
Okay.
And that was always the goal. So I go there, right? First semester. And then I also go to the college at a radio station. So I go, hey, what do I got to do? You got to you at least have to minor in one of these fields. And I go, okay, let me minor in communications. And then I'm like, how do I get a shift on this radio station? They said, oh, well, you'll have to wait. You'll be at least a junior or senior before you'd be considered.
Right.
Before you would be considered for a shift on the radio. I go, what, on a college radio station? And they go, yeah. And I go, oh shit, that's insane. That's what they tell me, right?
Right.
So then I'm hanging out in college and I start doing stand-up at a comedy club. And I'm like, this is what I want to do. I just want to entertain people and make them laugh. So this is my first semester of school. And I'm getting laid and having fun. And the math grade was horrible. And my political science teacher tells me, you're doing great in here, but you got to pick your math up. You're not going to get into any law school. And I go, what the hell's math got to do with law?
Right.
And he goes, you're not going to get in any, why are you not getting? I go, because I'm going and doing stand-up at night at open mic. And they go, why aren't you going to school? I said, because I don't get on the stage till 2 a.m. You know what I mean? And the guy goes, listen, you got to make a decision. So then I go home for Christmas break, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I go home for Christmas break and I got these friends. My best friend in the world was a guy named Bill Link at the time. And another guy was named Tony Terrell. They were my best friends. I played the band with them in high school. And Bill was going to Lewis and Clark. So he goes, hey, you were off. You got your Christmas break is long. I said, yeah, well, 4-year schools. He goes, well, if you're bored, come with me he goes, I'm driving down to college tomorrow. Come with me. I go, okay. So I ride. He goes to Lewis and Clark. I ride in his car with him, go down there. Right.
Right.
And he goes, all right, I got these classes in the morning. I go, what am I going to do? He goes, go hang in the quad. And I said, okay. So I go hang out and they have this, the fuck around area at the college was called the quad.
Right.
So I'm going around there, hanging out with hot girls there. I'm hanging around watching TV. And he goes to his classes. And so I'm hanging out. Then I walk into the cafeteria. Then I'm getting kind of bored. And I'm sitting there talking to these girls watching there's some soap opera on or something. And I go, hey, tell me about this college. And they go, yeah. And then I said, hey, where's they say, oh, that's where the radio station. It's like, oh, this college is a radio station. They said, yeah. And I said, where's that? They go, that's in the admin building. And I go, where's that? And they pointed and it's across it was right outside for the quad across this field or whatever.
Right.
So I go, oh, cool. So I go, hell, I want to go over there and check it out. So I walk across the quad area or whatever, and I go into this admin building. And then I go up to the 3rd floor or whatever, which is where the radio station was. And I'm just walking through the halls. And this guy's like, hey, what's going on? I go, hey, is this where the college radio station is? He goes, yeah, this whole floor is all college radio classes. And so I'm like, oh. And I'm walking around and I see this fucked up room that has a file cabinet that has stickers all over it. And there's like 3 couches and some guy sleeping on the couch. And I go, oh, this is awesome. So then I walk by the other thing and I see a classroom. And there's a classroom going on and the teacher's talking about news or whatever. And I'm like, this is kind of interesting. And so then I walk around and I go down and I see the actual radio station and there's a guy doing a shift. And then next to the radio station, there's this big newsroom And he's got some girl in there doing news, and then I'm walking, and it's all production studios. I'm like, what the fuck is this place? And so then some guy goes, excuse me, who are you? And I go, oh, I'm just visiting a friend of mine in college, and I thought I'd check this out. And the guy goes, well, you know, we really don't want people, they're doing shows. We really don't want people disrupting and stuff. I was like, oh, all right. And I said, who are you? He goes, I'm the instructor. And I go, oh. And he said, well, come talk to me. So I follow the guy down to his big office, right? And I go into his office, and the guy starts talking to me. And he goes, so tell me what you're doing here. And so I start telling him, I go to a 4-year school, and a buddy of mine, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, I was going to the school for political science, and I'm trying to get into law school. And then I wanted to get on the college radio station. They said I had to minor in at least a communication, but I got to be in choir for my scholarship. And so I'm telling the guy all this stuff, and he goes, oh, we have scholarships here, but you don't have to be in choir. And I go, what? He goes, yeah, you don't have to be in choir to get the scholarship. You just have to audition. And the scholarship can transfers fully to any of these departments. And he goes, including ours. And I'm like, what? And I said, well, they told me I couldn't get a shift until I was at least a senior in my 4-year school. And he goes, oh, yeah, we don't do it that way here. And I go, how do you do it? He goes, I do it based on talent. It depends on what kind of talent you have. If you are good at this, you can get on your first semester. And I'm like, what? You have guys in there? He goes, yeah, I've had guys that have been here 2 months that are already on the air. And I'm like, no shit. And so I'm really interested at this point when I'm talking to this guy. And I go, what's it cost to go here? And he's like, what's a community college? It's only $20
credit.
Yeah, it's only $20 a credit. He goes, if you get a scholarship, it's full. I was like, what? He goes, yeah, our choir scholarships are full. You're totally taken care of. And I go, really? He says, yeah. So the guy said, and I'm like, holy shit. I go, now I was getting a full scholarship to Kansas City as well, but
right.
The room and board was expensive. I still had to pay some of the room and board cost.
Mm-hmm.
And so I talked to this guy, and I go, shit, I should transfer to here. And I go, so in the middle of the conversation, I go, hey, where's the choir room? I said, who would I talk to about singing? And he goes, oh, well, hold on. He picks up the phone. He says, I can't really, is this George or Jim, whoever the guy, choir guy? And he goes, hey, are you having any class now? He goes, no. He goes, I got some guy who's got a scholarship to, what's the school you go to? And I told him Park University. He goes, oh, this guy goes to Park College or Park University or whatever. And he has a vocal scholarship, and he says he would like for you to give an audition. And he goes, oh, okay. And he writes this thing down. He gives me a piece of paper. He goes, go to this building and look up George, whatever. I can't remember the guy's name. And he goes, just go find him. I said, okay. So I leave. I leave the administration where the school is, where the station is, and I walk to the music room, right?
Right.
And I go and I say, hey, I'm looking for it. I got this thing in my hand. I'm like, I'm looking for George, whoever. And the guy goes, oh, that's me.
Kind of like Steve's last date.
Yes. He goes, oh, that's me. Puts his hand on my shoulder. It's a pleasure to meet you. I go, oh, pleasure to meet you too. And he goes,
you auditioned without pants.
Steven said you wanted an audition. And I go, well, yeah, I had a scholarship. I got a scholarship at this college I go to. And he was telling me that I could get one here, or that you guys have them here. And he goes, I have some available starting next semester. And I go, oh. And I say, well, I would be interested. And he goes, okay, wonderful. And he goes, do you read music? And I lie, and I go, well, of course I read music. You know, of course I read. I'm not some asshole. Of course I read music. And he goes, oh, fabulous. And so he goes, this song starts in the E and so he gave me the pitch to start the song. Once he did that, now I know I got it. And he plays some ridiculous song and I sing for him. And then the guy is like, oh heavens. You have the voice of a tenor angel. I go, I do. And then he goes, can I ask you to do me a favor? Can you take off your shirt? And I go, what? He goes, take off your shirt. And I go, well, I guess if it's important to you, I said, can I just unbutton it? That would be fabulous. I go, okay. And he goes, your tenor sounded like it's very ballicious. And I go, what? He goes, can you drop your pants? And I go, why would I drop my pants? He goes, just to free up your range. And I go, well, I guess just to free up my range, I could try it. And I go, but listen, I'm wearing boxer shorts. He goes, that's fine. I go, all right. So I drop my pants and then he goes, let's sing it again. But we're going to start with this stanza. And I go, what is that? And he goes, well, we'll start right before the chorus. And I really want you to belt. I really want you to belt out. I go, okay. And so we take it apart and I go to tonight. And I get to that point where I'm holding. He goes, oh my God, that is fabulous. But you know what you do? You need more of. We need to hold your vibrato. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, here, let me show you. And he takes his hand, right? And he puts his hand through the slit in my boxer shorts. And he reaches in and grabs my balls and he goes, oh my God, you have beautiful full balls. And I go, what? He goes, now I'm going to gently hold your balls.
Where's Steve's hands?
That will hold your vibrato. And I go, okay. He goes, so therefore they don't rattle slightly, just to give you a peaceful vibrato. And I go, that's cool. And I sing the song, and I'll be damned, you guys. Milk Dud, you're not going to believe this. When I hit that note, tonight, it was beautiful. The vibrato was perfect. It was because he was holding my balls, and they were nice and snug in his hand, and so he controlled the rattling. So I wasn't breaking up anything. I had, and then.
So you learned the Michael Jackson technique right away.
It was perfect. He goes, that is the tastiest vibrato I've ever had. I go, well, thank you. And then he goes, I want you to hit a higher note. I said, okay. He goes, so we're going to try for the higher note, but I'm going to squeeze a little bit. He goes, and I want to make sure you hit it perfect. So don't freak out if my finger makes its way to your rectum area. I go, what? He goes, I will put my finger in your anus to make sure that you hit the high note. I go, okay. No, I've never gone through this before. I'm a little uncomfortable, but I'm like, well, I'm trying to get a scholarship, So I go, tonight, and boom, he put his finger in my anus, Milk Duds. You're not going to believe this. I hit this tonight high. I hit this high note like I've never hit before. And I hit the note. It's higher and more beautiful than anything I had ever sang. Except I came a little bit from how he was jiggling my balls.
I think Steve just did.
Yeah. And so he pulls his hand out of my boxer shorts and he goes, And he goes, he pulls his shirt back and he goes,
oh.
And he licks and goes, oh. You know what that tastes like to me? And I go, what? He goes, a full fucking scholarship. And I go, oh my God.
Good Lord.
I was like, well, that's wonderful. So I was zipping up my pants and he goes, if you want to go here, it won't cost you a dime. And I go, well, thank you so much. And so he goes, congratulations. You earned yourself a scholarship. And I go, oh, he goes, don't ever share this story with anyone, especially not some fat disabled guy with the nickname Milk Duds. I held on to that secret for almost 40 years. I held on to it.
Did his finger have veins?
And but he gave me a full ride scholarship, and I didn't have to sing in the choir.
Well, there you go.
And so literally by the end of that day, this is a true story. By the end of that day, I had a scholarship, and the administrator of the radio department had transferred it over to the radio department and said, if you want to go here next semester, I'll get you enrolled. He had all my information. He goes, I'll get you enrolled. And I was like, really? And he goes, yeah. And he goes, and we'll give you a chance to get on the air. He goes, officially you'll just do electives all next semester. And then starting next fall, you'll be a full-time student. Or he goes, starting this summer, you can start your radio classes. And I was like, awesome. He goes, it's a 3-year program and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, whatever. And that next fall, I got in and I was on the radio within 2 weeks. So there you go.
How about that?
And unfortunately, until the next year when I had to sing for George again, I never got any chance to spend any time with George in the choir room. And I never sang for the choir, but they kept asking, and I'd say, no, I can't do it. I never sang in my college choir, although they asked me, and and he did the whole lick thing the second year, I gotta admit, but I'll hold on to that story.
Good Lord.
Yeah. I'll hold on to that story because he had one of the young sopranos help out to try to get me to sing in the choir, and I still didn't do it. But there's a double lick, but that's another story for another time.
So you were molested to get a scholarship?
A full ride.
Full ride.
I one finger and full ride.
And then the whole time Steve's sitting here while you're telling the story, and we only see one hand at a time.
Yeah, so I don't know what was going on with that. So if only I'd have taken that George to when I ended up singing in a band, if only George was around, he could have helped me hit Josie's on a vacation far away. I would have been able to do that song a lot more later in the set, because that was a high note.
Right.
Yeah. If George would have been there, he'd have warmed up my vibrato and anus properly and making sure I hit the note. Come around and take it, or whatever the words are. So many words that I want to say. We could have just rocked that song. Yeah. Oh, well. But what can I say? All I know is that I was able to get a full ride scholarship to go to college. And I never had to sing in but then, and I also, by the way, I also applied for the Pell Grant.
Yeah.
Through the Job Training Partnership Act, which was something that was around in the 80s. And with the Pell Grant and the Job Training Partnership Act and a full scholarship, they paid me like $3,000 a semester to go to school.
Yeah.
Damn.
The state of Illinois paid me to go because I was a real poor kid. And I didn't have any money. My parents didn't have any money. So I got a full ride plus I got a Pell Grant, and the Job Training Partnership Act was a monthly check, I think. They paid me to go to school. Now, I let my mom keep the JTPA money, but
I mean, I know you guys were poor because you told about how you had to eat your brother.
But I used the Pell Grant money to move into a trailer with buddies of mine. So, so that's what that was used for. Thank God. All right. So stainless tonight. What time stainless starting tonight?
Psycho Dan's saying he's going to have to run and go to his mom's after work. Not sure if he's going to be done in time for stainless tonight. I thought it was around 5:30.
Well, it depends on what time right, 5:30 or 6, right?
Right in that area. I mean, I talked to Jason a little bit yesterday. He said because of the holiday, he was slammed.
Yeah, so it might not be till 6 o'clock when he gets that going. But I'll tell you, that was a good fucking stainless show last week.
They did great last week.
Yeah, I hope this week's good as well.
I think Steve's giving them plenty of content.
Well, I hope it's not a crepes episode.
No shit.
Well,
I'm sick of hearing about the fucking crepes and getting this shit in my pants.
I'm saying I hope it's a good episode, not a crepes level episode. We'll
right.
See what's going on?
Well, I mean, they've got plenty to talk about with the mattress.
We don't need to talk about that mattress anymore. We're done with that. It's over. I told you what it was. I told you again.
Right.
And then you lied about it more.
Yeah, we know what you said it was. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff to talk about.
I'm not going to lick the fucking stain just to prove that it's the.
Here we go.
Here we go. Yeah.
I don't think you will.
I don't know. There's a lot of stories they get from this show. They could talk about my mental issues.
Scholarship.
Yeah, if they want, they could go ahead and share that. I was. I feel a lot. Can you tell I feel better today?
Yeah, you do sound better.
I'm in a better place. I think yesterday I was so depressed going into yesterday. I was so depressed going into it that I wanted to skip the show. I ended up doing the show and bitching about stuff like I was yesterday.
Right.
After bitching about stuff, I think it made me feel better.
Yeah, it just shows what a generous, honorable person you are.
Thank you. Oh, for God's sake. Please don't fart while complimenting me.
Sorry.
I'll tell you, I think that I forgot what I bitched about, but I think bitching about things and complaining about things and talking about things make me feel better.
It does. It does.
Yeah. So I'm glad I went and did the show, and I hope you guys understood what we started late and all that stuff. And, but I got the show done. Then I had a good workout. Yeah.
Sounded like you had when you and I talked yesterday, it sounded like you had a half a good phone call with the lawyer.
Yeah.
So that was positive news.
I heard who knows? That shit changes all the time, but the lawyer call I thought yesterday there was one thing about it that was really bad. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't even want to discuss that, but that was really bad. But then the other stuff I thought was really interesting. But then he had a meeting supposed to be with them yesterday. I don't know where that went, but I don't know where that stands.
That's all I got to say about it right here.
I was hoping he'd call this morning and give me some news, but there's been no phone call, so I don't know.
Fingers crossed.
I don't know. I was thinking I'd get some news, but there was no. Oh, Jason's with us.
What the hell?
Oh,
Hey.
Jason. What's going on, man? Aren't you at
not
work?
Much. No, I got the day off early today.
Oh, so we can do stainless whenever. Psycho Dan sent me a thing saying, "Oh, it's actually great that Jason's going to be late because 5:30 is not going to happen for me. It's going to have to be later." So that's what Dan said in the email he just sent me. So,
yeah. So, speaking of me, I see what my wife put in the chat. Was that what you guys were just discussing or something?
No, I didn't until you jumped on. I had no idea you were home. When did you?
I literally just walked in the door a few minutes ago.
So you're pulling a Sean.
Yeah, joining right at the end.
Right.
Well, she was watching the show, and I asked if you guys were still alive or if she was watching it tape.
She said yes, and Ray is so attractive. That's what I bet. That's what she says.
Of course,
your
Ray.
wife thinks your wife's got to think I'm somewhat attractive, right?
You'd have to ask her.
I'm sure she can hear you.
I think your wife's attractive. I think she probably feels the same way about me. You know, I imagine. You know.
Why don't you ask Steve?
And she says, you know, if you weren't so fat, you know, like that girl that just died I went to school with. She would compliment me. I swear, she would say, "You are one of the most handsome people I've ever seen." I go, "Oh, thank you so much, Kelly." And this is when we were like 17, you know. By the way, at 17, I only weighed maybe 220, you know. 240, maybe 280. I don't remember, but she would go, "You are so handsome." I go, "Oh, thank you, Kelly." And she goes, "It's just a shame." I go, "What do you mean it's a shame?" She goes, if you would just lose some weight." I said, "Oh, for God's sake." Like all the time she would do that. I love this girl. She was, you know, she was so funny, and it's just some of my best memories are hanging out with this girl. But all the time she would compliment me like that and then insult me at the same time. Like, you know, and I was a 17-year-old kid. And she would say to me, she goes, "You know something?" Yeah. She goes, "You have the sexiest lips of anyone." I go, "What?" She goes, "You have the sexiest lips of any," and she talked about my what is this? Steve.
Steve.
I'm pointing out attractive parts of my body. Can you please stop farting? And I can't remember what it's called. And there's a technical term for it. And I was 16 or 17 years old, and this girl would tell me, she'd go, "You have the sexiest." What's the name of that body part? Hold on, I want to Google it really quick. Steve.
God, Steve.
Damn, Steve.
What the hell?
Oh.
Sounds like you left milk duds in your chair.
I had gas all night last night.
Control it. I'm trying to share a story that obviously means a lot to me. It's the philtrum. She would go, "You have the sexiest philtrum of anyone I've ever seen." And I was like 17. And I'd go, I wasn't sure I thought maybe a philtrum was part of the dick or something. I'd be like, "Oh my God, what the hell do you know about me?" But no, then I figured out what a philtrum was, and I go, "Well, thanks, Kelly." She'd go, "It's just a shame." I go, "Well, what do you mean it's just a shame you're so fat? If you just lose some weight." I'd say, "Oh, thanks, Kelly." like all the time. Like all you guys, I'm saying I would be at a party, all right, and she would, no matter what couch I'd be sitting on, she would come find me, right, and she would sit on the couch next to me and literally put her head on my shoulder. You know.
So she never offered to help you with your vibrato?
No. I never slept with her. I might have made out with her a couple of times, but we were friends. We were never, any sexual, which I loved her to death. And there's a picture I put on my Facebook, a picture of this girl that I just took is a couple years ago. And you could see how attractive she looks then. And that was she was 50 years old or whatever, however old we were at that picture. She's older than me, but you could see how attractive she was. And in high school, she was even more attractive. But she looked really good in later years too. And she would sit next to me on the couch and she would say stuff like, she'd go, you're so good looking. I go, oh, stop it. And she would say stuff like that. And I would almost get embarrassed. And I'd be like, oh, Kelly, stop it. I said, well, I think you're beautiful. And she goes, it's just a shame.
Steve looks better than you.
No, that's how she always started. She goes, it's just a shame. And I go, what's a shame? And then I knew it was coming. If you would just lose weight. And I'd be, and I'd get crushed off. But she did it for her. I know it was just a joke. It had to be a joke for her to do this. But she would say the nicest things to me. She would say the nicest things to me. And this is when I was, 15, 16, 17 years old. And unfortunately, as we got older, I never saw her that much, but I love this girl to death. And I'm glad I could talk about her now. Because she brought much joy to my life. And I loved her to death. And to find out she died, she had a disease called scleroderma.
Oh, that's a shitbag one.
And she was diagnosed with it. A few years ago. And I guess it came out of nowhere. And anyone who knows about the disease, it's a death sentence when you get it. And she got it and kept it quiet. I had never heard that she had this until she died from it, which is a shame. Because she was a wonderful person. She really was a good person. And it seemed like as an adult, she was a good person as well. But I'm telling you, she was a wonderful high school. She was a wonderful friend in high school. And it's really sad how she went. And I just want to talk about it for a little bit. And I still remember every conversation with her and the wonderful things that she would say that would always end with her going, it's just a shame. It's just a shame if you would only lose some weight. And she would say things like, I would love to have sex with you. And I'd be like, what? She goes, I would love to have sex. I go, Kelly, I would, before I'd even get the sense out, she goes, it's just a shame. And I'd be like, she got me again. So I fondly remember Kelly Daly, and I remember it's just a shame. And I will probably remember it the rest of my life. It was that's a description of my friend. So
Brent's offering to continue the "it's just a shame" thing in honor of Kelly.
Thank you, Brent. No,
Leave it to Brent.
I'm glad my wife got a chance to meet Kelly. She met her a few years ago when, when we had, when we had a reunion. So I guess it was more than 2 years ago. I think we were in our 40s when we met. So we would have been in our 40s. And she still looked good. You guys can see in that picture, the girl looked fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
And we took a picture. And that picture was that's exactly how we were in high school, is the same way that picture looked. And that's another thing I remember is how a lot of that stuff doesn't
fade away.
I think if we'd have had, and I don't have a lot of pictures from high school, but I think if we had a picture of us in high school, we would be in the same position that we were at that reunion. Except she'd be just about to lean into my ear or get in my face and get really close, like she was going to kiss me. And then she would go, "It's just a shame." So I just, to Kelly, I love you. And I'm sorry. I'm just so sorry that the end of your life was so painful. And I love you. And I will gladly remember. It's just a shame. And God bless you. Our show is brought to you by our good friends at Recontex. Call Recontex today at 670-1132 and get a detail scheduled for your car. Or get get your car coded. In fact, right now they have some Valentine's Day specials to get your car coded. Call them 670-1132 and find out what kind of savings they can get you, especially if you are a Morning Disaster listener, Morning Disaster viewer. You can get an even bigger deal at Recontex for a car coding. Give them a call in honor of their St. Valentine's Day special. Tell them that you are a Morning Disaster viewer and see what kind of deal they can work up for you. They have $100, $200, you name it. They have big discounts on, depending on which coating you want to get. They've got the regular coating, they've got the 5-year, the 10-year, all these different coatings they can put on your car. Plus, they are now selling do-it-yourself equipment at Recontex, and you can now get a buffer. They have a Recontex car buffer that is amazing, and it's for an amazing price. Our show is also brought to you by our friends at Just Beds. That's Just Beds at 3120 Montvale Drive. Go on by Just Beds and get yourself 8 hours of sleep a night. You won't be spending the morning yawning if you go to Just Beds. You will feel better. Trust me.
We're going to pick out a new mattress for my bed here in the next week or two.
Yes, you'll feel so much better, TJ. You'll feel so much better.
We're doing our best to make sure we get one that is not shit-stained.
They need a spokesman.
Pre-delivery.
They need a spokesman that could.
Yeah.
They need a spokesman that could let people know that shit-stain-free mattresses exist. I wonder who they're going to get.
I know. I'm available. Choice.
I don't want to name names, but there's got to be someone that can be there's got to be someone who shits their bed
right.
Has regularly shat their bed that they could use as a spokesperson. If anybody has any ideas, let us know.
Whoa, it's not me.
I don't want to bring up anybody,
It's Just Beds on Montvale. Swing on by, pick yourself out of bed, or get a mattress and get 8 hours of sleep. They deliver it to your home. They remove your old mattress. They take care of you at Just Beds, 3120 Montvale Lane. You guys know what I'm talking about. They are the yawn exterminators. They want to make your life better. It's Just Beds. All right.
It'd be great to have
698-6179. That's 698-6179.
We really need a veterinarian for a sponsor.
You probably, because you guys got all those dogs.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you what, 12 dogs ends up the floor looking like Steve's mattress.
Shit.
TJ's living in a home where they have more dogs
than
than humans. So you know who's in charge.
The dogs.
When you have more dogs than people, the dogs are in charge. At least they think they do. They think they.
Well, they think they are.
Yeah.
They got the routine down.
So Stainless tonight. I thought they did a great job last night, but we'll see.
You mean last week?
Last week, yeah. Last week's was a very good show. We'll see if this show is up to par.
Wait, how come Brent is saying nice things and adding it's just a shame after everybody but Steve?
It's just a shame.
That he pooped the bed.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Boy.
All right, we should wrap it up. But at least Jason got here for the end of the show. Thanks, Jason.
Thanks, Jason.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Oh, for God's sake.
Steve.
Control yourself.
I need to go to the bathroom.
You did go to the bathroom already?
I'm queer. No, I'm not queer.
We saw what that hand was doing during the choir story.
Right here.
That's one.
You did see the other one.
So you just traded off hands on your penis. Got it.
Yeah.
See?
We'll see what's holding the.
He's gaining on the switch off. That's what's going on. Oh, gross, Steve.
See which hand is holding the erection in place. All right. Oh my goodness. We'll end the show. Oh, I gotta turn the volume up. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. We'll be back tomorrow with another free show tomorrow morning. Thank you so much for listening, and we will talk to you again. Remember, Stainless tonight. Is tonight a mayhem night?
Tonight is a new mayhem night because now I'm retired. So after Stainless, we go live.
So after Stainless is over, TJ will go live with his mayhem show. So those are two shows that Steve hates back to back. And then we're back in the morning with another free show. We'll talk to you guys later. Have a great Wednesday. So long, everybody.
I wonder if anybody can send Steve something to make his day better.
I wonder what he would want.
I want to see pee, poop, puke, pics.
Make his day, everyone.
Yeah, send him a bunch of.
No.
I tell you, I let a log out this weekend. Holy shit, Steve, you loved it. It was long enough that it came out, hit the toilet, and then rolled around.
Like curled it.
Oh, I love that.
It rolled it, and it rolled it in perfect. It rolled out perfectly. There was no breaks in it. It was just like a circle. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
It was a two-flusher. It was a two-flusher. And perfect, perfect light brown color too.
You should have taken a picture.
So long, everybody.
Up my butt. No.
Discover epidemic.